Chonka.
Man, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is actually a late morning, and for many of you, it may be an early afternoon. And if you're on the West Coast, it's gonna be a even earlier morning. But today we have a few things to cover. We're gonna get into. I don't really want to keep it too long this morning, but I definitely think that this message is something that men need to hear because today we're talking masculinity. I've been working on something for y'all. I've been working on something for all men, but especially those that tune into the show in regards to masculinity, defining masculinity and the levels of masculinity. And I think we are in a time where we need this message like none other because there is so much attack coming against masculinity in this country, and especially against black men. We have several uh, hyped up social media situations going on right now, or incidents that is parallel to what you go through in your regular life, and we can use those things to talk about it, but definitely dive into it and gain some understanding for ourselves. First off, let me say this before we go any further, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Y'all, when y'all hit that like button, YouTube's gonna recommend this channel. It's gonna recommend the material for other people like us that need to come in and get this information, and that's what we want. Because at the end of the day, I told y'all this from the very beginning. My goal is to help our community, and the only way we can do that is through conversation and truth. We got a 50,000 sub campaign going on here at the channel. We're gonna get that because we want everybody in that community, everybody that we're calling to come here to converse about things in our community that's going on and stuff that we would like to see change. We do that through conversation. Media is very powerful. So I'm asking you and everybody that's a part of the channel, you do the same. Go tell somebody. Go tell somebody. Have that somebody tell somebody. Um, I also wanted to give a shout out, man. I forgive me for not having this. I think it's the Average Man podcast. I'm gonna get the name and I'm gonna tag the brother. He showed one of our clips on his channel. He has 95,000 subscribers. Thank you. That brother's reaching a lot of people. He put our clip at the beginning of his video. I meant to do that before I even got on here. I meant to get his actual name, but I believe it's the Average Man. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I don't want to disrupt the stream, so I'm gonna have to actually just do that and put it in the comments somehow, or put it in the description. I'll add it later. But he actually put a clip of ours from this channel at the beginning of one of his episodes. I'm thankful for that because he has a lot of reach and he's talking what we're talking. So this just ain't somebody who pulled it and wanted some clout. Nah, this brother is sincere in what he's talking about in terms of masculinity, brothers waking up, and he shared the material from this channel, from our crew, where we got Grizzly, Miss T, and Rob J 10X, our lives that we do on Friday. He shared that material on his channel, so I'm very thankful for that. And it just lets me know we're moving in the right direction. The biggest threat to our society, is men being weak and men not understanding what masculinity is and what their responsibility as a man is. That is the biggest threat to our society. And we see it in these little situations in social media that are hyped up, like the Cassie situation, or when brothers start talking about why they're dating outside their race. We see it. There is so clear. It's very clear as day that we have a problem when these topics come up, because how men respond when they're talking to women or other men about these situations. And as a man, you have to have some standards. You have to have standards, And you have to have a frame, your frame of reference of what you operate out of. That's where your standards, your purpose, your regulations, who you are, you have to have that intact. Because once you have that intact and understand that, you can give respect because you understand why you need respect, respecting boundaries. When I hear men comment on some of these pop culture conversations, I'm appalled at times. I'm appalled at how afraid a lot of you men are to just hold a woman accountable and allow some of these women to take a pop culture situation and align it with a regular situation to put you under condemnation. I don't know of any man that would allow their woman to be FaceTiming another man while he's having sex with her, or even on the opposite side, any man that would want to be FaceTime while a woman is having sex. On both ends. That goes for Diddy and Cassie husband. You mean to tell me if you were to FaceTime somebody, you couldn't tell if they was physically involved? And what kind of woman is that? The responsibility is going to always be on the men, because as men, we are the leaders. But when you have us having this responsibility of having authority on earth, that was bestowed upon us by God. And since we have that, we can call out everything. We can call out a man when he acting fugazi, and we should be holding women accountable when they're acting just in the most debaucherous, filthy way. When we talk about this, a lot of you men are afraid to call women out. A lot of you men are afraid to call men out. I don't give a damn what Cassie's husband had to say. I'm not allowing that. Listen, women are not perfect. Women are not perfect. They're not infallible. They make mistakes. Most of them will make mistakes. But how much of her shit will you take and allow? How much of her shit will you take and allow? Are you just going to allow her to act out of turn every time? Are you just going to allow her to not act like she got any sense, any moral compass? A lot of you men have made the mistake of messing with women like this from the get-go. You've seen the flags. And you have this dependency on a woman to bring you value. That's why you do it. And so this whole romanticized idea that women can just make all the mistakes they want and they can go out here and get all the dick they want and they supposed to, not have any type of reprimand is ridiculous. In covering situations when you're a husband and you have a family, you may have to cover that woman from that. I understand that. When you're married to her, when you have a family with her, when you have children with her, and we're going to get into that in a whole nother episode, because that's going to be sensitive for some men. The Bible say treat women as the weaker vessel. That means that in all things, I don't think women have true autonomy. They don't make great decisions. And you may have to cover her. No different than she has to be understanding if you're in a situation where you're at a part of your life and your growth where you're not monogamous. These are very sensitive topics that need full context. So that's for another episode. But before you even engage in a serious relationship with this woman, you are allowing her to act that way, and you're going to give her a position in your life permanently. I think that's a mistake, because you cruising for a bruising from that. We're not talking about if you already in a situation where you got to cover her. So before you even get with this woman, you see what type of shit she's involved in, and you gonna put a ring on her finger? You already see she out here living wild, and you gonna put a ring? You gonna let this woman? First off, a lot of you men are serving women. A lot of y'all want to serve women. That's what you do. You go out to serve a woman. Your life, you feel like your life was everything if you have a woman in it. And if you don't have her in it, your life is over with. Women are great. God designed us in such a way that he said we're not supposed to be alone. Yes, you need a wife. You need a helper, a helpmate. That's a divine thing for so many reasons. The Bible speaks highly of this. I think one of the most noble things you can do in society is have a wife and raise a family. But the first thing that you got to have is your purpose. You have to have a vision of what you need. A helper. You're not supposed to be alone. You're supposed to get a helper, a helpmate, somebody who is the complementary piece to what you got going on. All the commentary I done seen from men, all the commentary I done seen from women. Oh yeah, Cassie's husband's such an amazing. Y'all believe that shit. There's a lot of people out here that believe that shit. That you was designed to go work and slave and serve this woman. That ain't it. That woman was designed to help you with what you got going on. But a lot of y'all are in situations because you're so hard up for somebody. You so desperate. You ain't got no vision. You ain't got no purpose. You don't know what you're doing. And you just want to be with somebody so bad. Your lust is out of control that you're willing to do whatever for this woman. You'll never get me to believe that it's okay for a man to know that his old lady is out here whoring around and he should wife her up. Young men think like this. That's why we talk about the levels of masculinity. I covered this on one episode, a short episode on here, and I'll get a little further into that. You know, the first level of masculinity is boyhood. You're a little boy. That's when you learn stuff. You're dependent. I've talked about that. The second is adolescence. Rebellion stage. Your experiences define you. You don't, you don't think the old guy knows what he's talking about. In that adolescent stage of masculinity, you experimenting. This your puberty stage. A lot of y'all are stuck there. You really getting with women based off of how you feel about them, not based on what you know about them. And you only get this when you get to later levels of masculinity. My father told me that you can't have, he taught me this as a young man, and he wasn't wrong. You can't have youth and experience. That's going to go over your head. You're going to be trying to rationalize that to fit your argument. You may have some unique experiences as a young person that people older than you may have not had. But the comprehension and the understanding of what you experience comes later in life. When you are able to understand the world better through experiences as you mature and get older and understand what's going on, as you make better decisions, as that brain develops better. When you're young, the experience defines you. When you get older, you understand the experience. You seek to understand the experience and make choices based off of the lessons you learned from the experience. And I'm going to tell you about experience, something that I learned through experience. Women don't do what they don't want to do. Women are not out here doing things that they don't want to do. They will blame external sources because they can't make sound decisions on their own. But since they operate off of feelings, they do what they feel like they want to do. And when they don't want to do it anymore, they will stop. They will tell. So when you see these text messages come out, this girl communicating with Diddy, talking about what she want to do and how she wants to do it, of course she complicit. They all do that. Listen, when a woman wants to be with you, she will do what you want her to do. And it's unfortunate that sometimes the leadership that's over them is misguiding them into doing terrible things. Men are responsible. I've taught y'all this on that channel. I'm not talking about that right now. At this moment, yes, men are responsible. But I need you to understand, for those that stuck in stage 1 and stage 2, because you don't really have any understanding of what it takes to be a man, because she wants to be with you so bad, you can misguide her to do all kinds of things. So all things can be true. Yes, I believe that Cassie was misguided. I believe that she was abused. I believe all those things are true because she had a terrible leader. When there's no real male leadership involved, when there's no real male leadership there for that woman, she's going to be looking for external sources to guide her. Even if that's a shitty man, in my opinion, who is just as bad as any external guidance. Eve listened to the serpent. Eve listened to the serpent and got her husband to do what the external source asked or informed her on. The leader was supposed to say, "Nah, we not doing that." And we really don't know what happens in the story if that's the case of what would happen then. I think a few things would happen. It would be up to Adam to reprimand her. And I'm not talking about physically. Give her some correction. Or maybe if she was just unable to be corrected, maybe replaced. I don't know. But because he didn't have any real leadership acting, he wasn't acting in real leadership. He had it installed in him. It was in him to do it because he wasn't acting in real leadership, he relied on his woman to lead him through an external source. So the very nature of women from the very beginning is to do that. They must have some sort of correction. But what kind of man are you if you can't give it? What kind of man are you if you can't offer no correction? You will allow yourself to be led down a path of condemnation. That's the story in a nutshell. Women do what they feel like doing. There's no excuse because a woman is 19 and 20. You don't know right from wrong. At 19 years old, you don't know right from wrong. You got men out here. She was 19. Stop it. Y'all niggas afraid to hold a woman accountable. And you know why you're afraid to hold a woman accountable? Because you ain't accountable. You ain't responsible. Y'all sound silly. There's a reason why these women out here living foul and all jacked up. Because you ain't got your shit together. Because you trash. You ain't got no morals. You ain't got no standards. You ain't got no purpose. And you out here just leading these women astray with bogus bullshit. You mean, so if you go out here and commit a crime at 19 and you murder someone, you think that the police or the court is going to say because you're young and don't know any better, they're not going to send you to jail? Or they going to say, hey, he's 19. He doesn't know like a 25-year-old, 30-year-old person would know. Do you think that that's what's going to be said? Someone at 19, 20, 21 knows right from wrong, male and female. You do what motivates you. I don't know Cassie and I don't know Diddy personally, but I can read in between the lines with just human nature. That lady wanted to be famous. A lot of these women want things. They're motivated by certain things and they will stay in a situation until they get it. I've taught y'all here that women are self-serving. Women are self-serving. It's an attribute that is necessary for them to have. But when it's misguided, it's toxic. Women are self-serving. Whatever will serve them best for provisionary purposes, whatever will give them whatever the desires of their heart is what they will serve. Until it don't serve them no more, you go into court. And if you stuck in that level 1, level 2 masculinity, this gonna go over your head because you're not operating in wisdom. Level 1 and level 2, boyhood, adolescent, you are going to be mirroring that which is leading you. Whatever you're allowing to lead you, you're going to mirror that. A lot of y'all mirror women emotions. A lot of y'all mirror a woman's everything because you let the lust for her, you let the wanting to serve her and be with her guide you. So that's what you mirror. You are behaving like her. As a man, it will always be your fault. You got to know that. That's why these all the topics we're having, all the discussions we having are very important. It will always be your fault. So you got to learn. You got to get experience. You got to learn your lesson. You got to make your purpose the reason. You need to financially equip yourself. You need to have your own stuff. You need to be planning and plotting for you. And whoever you're going to get needs to come along with what you have to offer. But you got to make your vision has to be first. It has to be key. That woman needs to be accompanying what you're doing. Yes, you're going to experience heartbreak. Yes, you're going to understand because we have a romanticized vision for men of what love is. We do. Some call it simping or whatever you want to call it. In the Western world, it's very much so like that. Masculinity, they're afraid of masculinity in the Western world. For men to be deciding for themselves and determining what type of woman he feels like he should have for himself, that's frowned upon. You're supposed to let that woman do whatever she want to do. Even when you are covering her in a moment, even when you are presiding over her and covering her in a moment where she's having some breakdowns, whether it be can't listen, can't cooperate, infidelity, whatever the case may be, there are an array of things that can come your way. You still got to have some level of reprimand. I'm not talking about physical. Boundaries. Hey, you can't do that. I may be able to excuse you for a period of time, but I can't excuse you all the time, especially when we're going somewhere. You can't do what you want to do in society. You can't just go out here in the community and do what you want to do without some type of reprimand. You can't just go out here and randomly fight on somebody. You can't just go out here and randomly steal and do things without some type of reprimand. There's boundaries. There's boundaries in society. So why shouldn't you have one as a man? You know why there's boundaries? Boundaries beget order, create order. In the society, in the community, we have order. As a man, you have to have order. If you have somebody in the house with you doing what they want to do and letting the kids do what they want to do, it's out of order. It's going to cause chaos. And where there's chaos, God ain't there. God is going to operate in peace. And where there is none, if there's chaos, he's going to regulate it so you get peace. That's what we have to do as men. We are living in a society right now where we don't even understand who we are and how to operate. And because of that, we letting the women just run amok. Man, I forgot the actor name. I seen the clip. I know Angry Man talked about it. I'm finna talk about it too. The brother that played Notorious B.I.G. The actor, you know, he raps. He's on some Tubi movies too. He's on some pretty good Tubi movies. I guess he was on Fox Soul, and they asked him, you know, why he chose. Well, he was talking about dating women outside his race. He didn't feel like black women treated him well, and you know, he's saying that in front of American black women, so they trying to grill him. Hey, black women are mean. Tell these women what's up. Angry Man, I totally agree with him. Tell these women the truth. Tell women what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Yes, you're being treated better by women outside of your race because they're feminine, they're submissive, they know how to cooperate with men. American black women are mean. They think you owe them something. They talk shit. The only two things they respect is if you leaving them or beating their ass. How you gonna manage to do anything with that? No, I'm not promoting. It's a shame I got a disclaimer this. No, I'm not promoting hitting on women. No, you don't need to hit no woman. But them the only two things a woman respect. Black women from men. If you going upside her head or you leaving her. And unfortunately for them, you have to do the latter, leave them. When they don't have no respect. But the truth is, we have to choose better. And in the black community, my question to women out there is of you, how many suitable women are there? When you're looking at statistics, we're talking about statistics and how we grew up in the household we grew up in. If you grew up with I'm telling you right now, if she grew up in a divorced household, if she grew up with a single mother, she's gonna be a handful. You have to teach that woman how to act and behave. She a kid. She's a grown ass kid. She's an adolescent fucking teenager. She's a teenager. She's an adolescent. You got to teach that woman how to behave from the get. And that's why your value matters. And your value ain't in your pockets, it's in how you think and how you operate. And are you stable? And if you're stable in your emotions and you are at least working and taking care of yourself and paying your bills, and women need stability. You got to be stable first. But if you're stable, you offering her stability through your stability. You have to be stable. That's the value. Any man, you got yacht out here talking about uh, you gotta have so much money and you gotta pay him. Man, shut up, nigga. Shut up. Cause if that nigga go broke tomorrow, he gonna be out his mind. He gonna be emotionally unstable, and so is his woman. Are you stable? Meaning that if you fall off, can you get back on? Can you take care of yourself? You gotta be stable. And when you are stable, you offer her stability. She not gonna want your stability to go nowhere. She not gonna want you to depart from her. So she gotta understand from the get-go, hey, this is what I'm requiring from you. Because this is what if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead her. You have to have your own standards, boundaries, and discipline. You have to have discipline for yourself. And that's hard. I'm not saying it like it's easy, it's hard. It's hard. But a man doesn't want, most men don't want to have to work too hard to get you to listen. And they're all like that. I don't want to hear about that trauma shit from slavery. What was going on in your house? What was going on in your house? Your All right, man, we picking up. I had a little technical difficulty. We picking back up. What was going on in your house? What was going on in your house? Your mama ran your daddy off. Your mama was difficult. Your mama mad and bitter because she didn't understand relationships. She didn't understand men. And in the end, she put that off on you. And you doing the same thing with the men you with. Man, I had an AAU basketball game to go to for my son. We're going to Lake Charles, Louisiana. So as we was going to Lake Charles, Louisiana, we had to go through, when you coming out of Houston, you go I-10 in Louisiana, you got to go through, Beaumont, Vider, and all of that. So we getting into Beaumont. I go to this gas station for ice because I needed some ice for my cooler. And when I get into the place, um, when I get into the place, I ask, it's a black chick up there. And then I ask her, I said, hey, where's your ice? First off, she got her back to the door. I walk in, I said, hey, excuse me, y'all got ice? Very nice. She, mm-hmm. Okay, where is it? Over there. In my mind, I'm thinking, God damn, bitch, you can't turn around? Most men think that when y'all act like that, and then y'all wonder why. I'm like, damn, bitch, you can't turn around and speak. I'm being nice to you. I go get the ice. The ice is 49 cents. I was like, yo, there's a big old bag of ice, 49 cents. Man, in the city, it's like $2. I had $1 on me. So this was perfect. I ain't have to use no card or nothing. So I'm like, damn, I'm actually in disbelief. And it's a whole full thing of ice too. So I go over there and be like, hey, I'm like, this ice only 49 cents. She goes, yeah, would you want it to be more? Hey, man, what the fuck? And she was big. It's like, dude, you just not, y'all just dedicated to not being nice. You know how many interactions I've had like that with our women? I don't know you. I'm not trying to talk to you. I'm not trying to have any interaction with you like that. And you mean to tell me you can't be nice? Just a little bit? You can't be nice at all. It's a lot of women like that, even in their relationships. We know women test. I do believe feminine energy tests. But you need to be able to also know when you acting like a bitch. So a man that's taking care of you, providing for you, doing great, you think doing great things for you, you think you can just treat him any kind of way? And they all have an abusive story. That's why we don't believe this Cassie shit. That's why we don't believe a lot of the shit that y'all say, because those of us that went out and did what we were supposed to do for this woman, even if we were fucking up, meaning we cheated on them, or, you know, maybe we were just in our part of that masculinity where we were growing up, we were still doing the best we could with this woman, trying to make it work. They gonna all say you abusive in some way. None of them have done nothing wrong, and in some way you are abusive and you are abusing them. So when that dude says, hey, I date women outside of my race because I just get treated better. What's the excuse for him? He an actor. He got some money, it seems. He doing this thing. Why he can't be treated a certain way? Why can't he get the treatment he deserves? Why? Is he not deserving of that? But all you get online is you hear these women saying what they deserve, but that's our fault as men. We are choosing them. And you have these beta orbiters who get around them and feed them bullshit and give them a bad perception of who they really are. Tell these women the truth. The only thing a woman respects is the truth. You mean, you big, you don't cook, you don't fit what I got going on. I'm going somewhere. I have a purpose. I want this type of woman in my life, and you should get that type of woman. We don't like BBLs. We don't like the weave and the lashes. Start rewarding the women who are doing what they should be doing. Marry those women. Don't make them into baby mamas. They're women that are applicable to the position. They qualify. They do get overlooked because y'all are leading with lust. You're getting women that you want instead of women that you need. Women that's coming in and jacking up the vision. You can't do that. You cannot do that. So you need to get out of that second level and get into the third level of masculinity, which is responsibility. You got to be responsible. When you're responsible, at this point, you're asking yourself, where am I going? What should I be doing? I got my vision now. You go after that. You get the complimentary piece to what you got going on. Leave these tramps, leave these I gotta be in my phone all the time hoes alone. I gotta be at every brunch every Sunday, leave that hoe alone. I gotta go on a girls trip every weekend, leave that hoe alone. She's not for you. Who cares if the complimentary piece is boring? She at home. I like boring. I want boring. She need to be boring and at the house with me. That's going to come in handy when y'all raising kids. You are ultimately in control. You are ultimately in control. You are at the helm. You are responsible. We don't have to just get with these women just because. You ain't got to be no stepdaddy. You don't have to take care of that. Let them niggas take care of that kid. These women that have 3 different baby daddies and kids and want you to take care of them, and your assets go to them if you die. Man, hell no. Raise your kids. Raise your kids. Have your wife. You don't have to settle. You don't have to settle. It starts with you. It starts with you. I want y'all to get in the comments and I want y'all to talk with me. Women, you're more than welcome to get in the comments because y'all need guidance. Ask questions. We're going to get in these comments. We're going to have a conversation. Everything I talk about is we having conversations here. Leave comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, throw 50K in the chat. I love y'all. Peace.
Oh, Chanka.